Hello everybody, it's great to see you this morning. I've got my rollers in, I've got my coffee ready, and I've got my makeup picked out for a full face Shop My Stash. None of this stuff is super new. And yeah, we're just gonna have fun and get ready and hopefully rediscover some things. So if you would like to get ready with me, let's get going. I tell you what, that little $8 Mr. Coffee coffee cup warmer, worth every penny. I love when people say worth every penny when it's something super cheap. Seriously, that's a steal. You can get it on Amazon, I'll link to it. Like, not having your coffee instantly go cold on you, it's a beautiful thing. So what's on my skin now? I have moisturized, I have eye creamed, I have sunscreened, I have not yet primed, and this is the primer I pulled out. It's the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. Not exactly like an old product on the market, but I got it quite a while back and just had barely used it. So I kind of wanted to refresh my memory on what this is like. It feels way creamier than the original putty primer, but let's blend it in and see exactly how luminous I end up looking at the end of this. Feels nice and smooth. But what's a luminous version of this primer actually going to do for the pores? It feels like a nice smoothing texture, but visibly, I don't know that it's doing what the regular putty primer did for the look of pores, just at least right now. Now maybe it is doing something just texture-wise, and I'm going to notice it more once the foundation's going on top of it, but I do look quite glowy. Then I was just kind of out of curiosity asking on Twitter earlier this week, what is the #1 best foundation you own? And I just loved looking through your responses and maybe getting a few ideas for things that you think are really amazing. And one that came up quite a bit was this Pure Love Your Selfie foundation. I've put it on before in videos, but not with a lot of frequency, you know? It's just not one that's in the big rotation so much. So I wanted to use that today. I have it in the shade MP3. By the way, I want to get my hands on the Raw Beauty Kristi palette. I thought that looked so good. I loved her like double palette idea with that. I thought that looked awesome. Hopefully I can get that sometime soon. I tried to get it on the day of and the website was going crazy, so I was just like, okay, there'll be another time for this hopefully. So I've now got my leopard spots on and I'm gonna dab this in. The pore area is looking pretty good, I must say. Now that foundation's kind of going on over it, I still think the luminous primer was doing something for them. Foundation-wise, I feel like I'm getting a solid medium coverage out of this right now. It's a strong medium coverage, and I could probably build it a little bit and make it practically a full coverage, but I like it. It looks fresh all over the skin. It has a real skin-like finish where you wouldn't look at it and say, ooh, that's super luminous, but it's not a dry matte either. It's just kind of like a nice natural in-between with that foundation. Here's an out of left field question for you. Have you seen Tarzan? Just the cartoon Disney version. I don't know when it came out. Did it come out sometime in the 90s or early 2000s maybe? I had never seen it, and the girls were like, let's watch a Disney movie we've never seen before, and they decided on that, and I thought it was so good, especially the beginning part. It was so heartwarming, I almost cried. What do you think is the most underrated Disney movie? For me, generally, I would say Princess and the Frog. Tiana is my favorite Disney princess. I love that movie. I love the songs in it. I love the vibe of it. I also like some of the older classics. I can really get into Sleeping Beauty, you know. Aristocats is another one that I very much enjoy. I also love all the cozy feels of Lady and the Tramp, you know. It's kind of Christmas time and the snow's gently falling. They set the whole mood very nicely with that one, but let me know, what is the most underrated Disney movie? Okay, we're gonna move on, and I grabbed out this Infallible Full Wear Concealer. This is the one, like, when I'm thinking about my drugstore full coverage concealers, this is kind of the one that goes under the radar for me. I know a lot of people like it. I have it in the shade, is the shade actually called Oatmeal? 345. I guess they wouldn't put Oatmeal on there for any other reason other than shade name. But I'm gonna give myself a couple little dots here, a little bit out here. But you know, I think of e.l.f. Camo Concealer so much, both the hydrating and the regular. I think of the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate, but this one just doesn't really pop into my head so much when I'm thinking about full coverage drugstore concealers, but it definitely is one. It's really light. This shade is so light. Come on, Oatmeal. I'm gonna look very brightened on the under eye today. That's when you know you really haven't used it in a while, when you are completely out of touch with what the color of it might be. That's what makes these videos fun, right? The element of surprise and just not knowing what's going to happen next. And I tell you what, guys, I am revamping my video to-do list. I was going through it the other day. I'm like, I need some fresh ideas. If you guys have some requests for me, some things you'd like to see me doing on my channel, like what do you really want to watch? Even if it's not maybe so intensely beauty related. Like if you want to see some beauty infused in a vlog, I've liked to do that in the past. Or if there's another topic I could even cover that would be beneficial to you, like let me know because I'm kind of trying to get a fresh start with some of my ideas. So I've got that all blended in. It's way, way light, but I don't know, my skin, like I've been using my self tanner, those neat little drops. Why is the name of those escaping me? But they're awesome and they're super easy to use, and I've just been using them on the face, mixing them into my nighttime moisturizer. But anything that ever was verging on too light as far as my foundations and concealers is gonna seem really light now. Okay, Peach Perfect setting powder. I was watching someone on TikTok recently and they were like, you know, this stuff is the bomb. And I'm thinking, okay, I have that. I know I've spoken so highly of this. Like, I know this is a great powder. I'm going to use it lightly to set my under eye and T-zone today. But you know, it was literally just kind of in the back of the class as far as my drawer, and I need to use it more. It really gives a nice blurred look to the skin. It's kind of doing what that Catrice powder that I like so much was doing for me. You know, making you look extra matte and perfected, but yet being a really, really lightweight powder that you don't have to use a lot of. Also love that peachy smell, and they've got a great mechanism here. Could every powder, loose powder, take notes? If you're not going to do what Bare Minerals is doing with the little click and then unclick, let's do this. Boom. Okay? I would also like to say I'm not hearing anything from the owls this morning. They do not wish to partake in this video. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow. This is a product that's gotten a decent amount of use over time, but not much lately. So I'm going to use this. This tends to give, I mean, it looks like it would give a barely there effect just to glance at it here, but it really does show. And these products tend to be put in some of those instant look in a palette little thingamabobs that she comes out with, you know, so I will use them in that capacity too. But see, like a really nice contour, but it doesn't seem like, just glancing at it in the compact, that it would do that much. And I like the instant look in a palettes. I really, you know, like something that can multitask, and she's made them so compact. To me, there would just be, in some cases, some different choices I would make, like she puts a couple of blush colors in there, but let's make them each like distinctly their own thing, you know? But as far as her brand goes, I mean, there's a lot of high priced stuff, and I feel like those instant look in a palettes do give you kind of a decent bang for your buck, because you're getting some eyeshadows, you're getting blush, you're getting contour and highlight. It's a lot in one. Okay, so can you see I'm taking that up around the hairline? I'm getting a little something going on there, but the highlight in here is gorgeous, and I'm gonna go in with that after I do blush. And for blush, now I haven't had the chance to watch the whole video yet from Shelby Wilson, because she did something kind of like saying, hey, MAC is not dead. I think a lot of people talk like MAC is a fading brand right now, but she did, I noticed just by the thumbnail, a gorgeous look using all MAC, and it made me want to pull out a MAC blush. This is my Warm Soul Mineralized Blush. And here's another thing, like, should I do a whole video on things that don't look like much in the pan, but are actually gorgeous on the skin? I'm gonna use this with my e.l.f. blush brush. It's such a pretty blush, you guys. Like, just watch, just watch. This is gonna have a gentle sheen to it. I mean, that's a works with anything kind of look if I've ever seen one. Sometimes I want to get so enthusiastic in these videos, and then I remember that there's children just right down the hall. It's not like they can hear me. They got their sound machines and whatever. They're not really listening, but it's just like in the back of my mind, I'm not alone up here. That's so pretty. I just want to keep going, and I don't even need to. Fresh, pretty. Oh, not to brag, but to brag, I beat Bub in a step challenge yesterday. Let's give you the exact count on how that turned out. We have our Fitbits. you know? And you're kind of always, every day, I mean, we live in the same house, obviously, we're always talking about how many steps do you have, how many steps do you have? And there will be days where he goes above and beyond, like big time. He's really walking to get fit, and he'll walk with weights a lot of the time. He had the Fitbit first, I came in later, and I just kind of thought, you know, I go on a lot of walks with the kids. For me, it was more of a curiosity thing. Like, am I getting some ungodly, amazing amount of steps? I want to get credit for it. I ended up with 12,912 steps, and Bub had 12,056 steps, so it was close. And in the midst of this challenge, I got a new badge, the Penguin March, for 70 lifetime miles. So we're celebrating that. But yeah, the Fitbit is fun. The girls have the little, the kids Fitbits, which you can sync to your phone. Like if you've got kids so young like they are, they don't have their own phones. So you sync them to your own Fitbit app, the adults Fitbit app, and you can create a family on there, and you can do challenges with your family. Some days they just get astronomical step counts. Most days they do. All right, I haven't really been narrating this process here, but are you seeing that pretty highlight? I love that. So gentle. Really reminds me of those highlights that I would describe as kind of a pearly look, because there's absolutely no obnoxious flecks in there. And the compact itself just feels so luxe, so, I don't know, kind of retro. And then this is the setting spray I wanted to use, my L'Oreal Shake and Glow Dew Mist. I've used about a third of this already. I really like it. I just hadn't used it in a while, and I wanted to whiff that smell again. But what is it? I have no idea how to describe what that smell is. Maybe just a little bit of floral in there, a little bit of some kind of Bath & Body Works body spray that I had back in 6th grade. I don't know. Moving on to brows, I pulled out another MAC thing I haven't used in a while. This is the Eyebrows Styler in Spiked. It's got a spoolie on one end. It's got a pretty fine pencil on the other. The shape right here is kind of throwing me off, but I think it's just as fine, nearly as fine as a Brow Wiz. And it looks like a really nice cool brown for me. Seems like a pretty dry, yeah, it is pretty dry. You gotta put some pressure in there to get some color down, but that's what some of, did I just, ooh, ow, just poked myself pretty hard with the brow pencil as I'm explaining how you gotta press a little harder. So how is the remote learning going for those of you who are doing remote learning so far this school year? We, of course, at the tail end of the last school year, I was doing some of that with Belle, like for pre-K, and you know, that was real loose, and I was coming up with a lot of ideas. The teachers threw out some ideas too. There was some Zoom stuff, you know, there was some interaction and touching base, but there wasn't so much of a turn this in so the teacher can see it kind of deal. And with the kindergarten stuff now, like there's some real tasks every day. We got to get serious about it. No, we have been serious about it. We've been doing all the things. We've been doing it right. They use a platform called Seesaw. I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with Seesaw, but that's mainly how her work comes in and then gets back to the teachers so they can see it. But the teachers are doing a really good job. They're incorporating a lot of like video clips of them actually teaching things and making it less of just here's your digital instructions for what you need to do and more of a real teachable moment. I'm sure this is taking so much work and thought on their part. So thank you teachers who are out there trying to steer this ship. I mean, we appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some Benefit Gimme Brow that I have in the shade 4.5. It really is the shortest little brush. I mean, they really went there with the brush size. How small can we make it and it can still be described as a brush? But that just adds a little more color to my brows, a little more tint. I mean, if you wanted to, this product, if you really wanted to lay into your brows hard with it, you could give yourself a lot of color off of Gimme Brow. But I'm just wanting to give them a little extra hold. Boom. Okay, feeling really good about this look so far, guys. I mean, that concealer was pretty light and I'm very brightened in this general zone, but I feel good about it. Even though it didn't look like I applied that much concealer, I'm kind of feeling like I may have done more than necessary, actually. Like 2 dots was 1 dot too much. 2 dots was 1 dot too much. I could have just done 1 dot is what I'm trying to get at, because it just, I don't know, it looks a little heavy. But I don't think this concealer is really claiming a super hydrating benefit like some of the others. I think it's more going back toward what Shape Tape is like and what the original camo concealer is like, you know? I'm gonna shop my stash for a different eye primer. Let's use this. I haven't used this one in a while, and I do really like it. The Tarte Shape Tape Eye Primer. So it's a stick. It's super easy to use. So you just swipe it on. It really like cancels out discoloration. If you were doing a barely there eyeshadow look, wouldn't that be a nice little first step? Because it just takes care of a lot. So now I move my little face brush bundle back there and I pull out my eye brushes so they're close and handy. And yes, I've been keeping my space clean, and no, I don't have batteries in my clock yet. Even though some of you have kindly gone to the extreme of tweeting me or sliding into my Instagram DMs to tell me to replace my batteries. I appreciate that because you're keeping me on track, and the next time I get groceries or something from Walmart, I'm getting batteries too. That's literally my problem. I don't have the batteries. I use my last 3 AA's in Bubba's little thing that he stands at to make all the sounds that drive us all crazy. This is what I'm using today. This is my Viseart Dark Edit, and it is so much fun. It's got a ton of richness in there, and I feel ready for it today. I may not go super purpley today, just given my maroon shirt. I don't think I really want to bring the purple. Oh no, I hope that hasn't been peeking up there, my mirror. Sorry. But yeah, let's just get it going with this little murky brown. Get some of that going crease-wise. I just grabbed for my Sigma E25 out of habit and muscle memory, but that nice little Profusion brush that mimics this would work well also. This crease color is so nice. Like, is that not a perfect little, hi, I'm eyeshadow, but I don't really look like eyeshadow? Loving. Okay, and then I've got a shade right next to it right here, this kind of a burgundy. Who's ready for fall? The leaves are falling. Like, we are literally crunching through leaves on some of our walks. Come on now, it's fall. Even though I'm sweating like crazy, I'm declaring fall on our house. Got all my fall decor out. Because you know what? All in all, there's not that big of a span of time for the fall decor. If you want to enjoy it, you've got to start now, you know? Let it stay up for a while, because before we know it, it's going to be Christmas time. Okay, so just blending that pretty burgundy shade up into that brown, and now I think I'll take just a bare brush. The thing you're not getting in this palette are like highlighter shades, which is fine because honestly, with a lot of looks, I'm not even really reaching for it. I'm just letting whatever I've done here blend up into my skin, and I'm not always feeling a mega need for something up there like that. Although it wouldn't have hurt if they gave us one lighter thing. Gotta clean off my brush a little bit. I used this in dark green yesterday. This palette is so, so gorgeous, and I can tell just by looking at it that it's been so underused. Let's swing into a little bit of this. It's a very dark plum. I'm not gonna get into the brighter purples with this look, but I want some drama here on my outer corner. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that. See, just patting it in, liking the way that looks, interacting with the sheared out burgundy. Now, anytime we wedge up into the crease, I'll pull in a brush to help me just kind of blend that out a little bit. Then let's go into this shade right here that hasn't gotten enough love. And I layer that up in there too. You know I love working with these mattes. Ooh, pretty. Now here's what I'm thinking. I want to see some of this orange working in here too, so I'm taking this little brush. Oh my gosh, that's so intense. It's kind of darker than you think it's gonna be. Heads up. But this is my E36, and I'll blend this out further, but I'm kind of like wanting it to show itself right in here. This needs a major buff. I'm letting that practically come in up to the eyebrow. Not really by choice, but because it became so intense. That's okay. We're using our space, friends. We're using our space. I want to keep it rich going into this overlapping some of that real plummy shade, which honestly showed up with more real purple intensity than I was thinking. And I'm gonna let that maroon shade come right over most of the lid. Kind of smoky, sultry today. And then maybe we just take a little splash of this bronze and let that come in right in this zone. Ooh, I kind of like that. That's kind of a little unexpected. You know, because we're having such a moment with the orange right out here, but then she comes back in bronze. I'm thinking that looks really pretty. Now I'm going to use this little pencil brush from Profusion. It's the ES4, and I'm going back into my burgundy shade here. And that's going to come under the eye. Sorry, I got a lot on that one side, so I really need to blend. Viseart ain't playing. And we're going to get a lot smokier here on the lower lash line than I have been in a while. And just like that, my eyes just shifted from brown to a little bit greenish looking. So interesting how that happens when I start working in something kind of reddish like this. Maybe even we go to this next shade over, just lightly. Blend in with that. You guys, I have decluttered a lot of eyeliners, but one that I do still have is my Milani Coffee Matte. It's the Stay Put Matte, you know, that lasted through childbirth. So it's a really deep dark, near black brown, and today I'm just going to take that across the upper lash line and give myself a wing. So when Bub is not cooking on his Blackstone, or we haven't meal prepped something on that Blackstone griddle for the week, I find I've been already busting out my crock pot again lately. Yes, I'm using like all the fall buzzwords in this video. Decor, crock pot. No, I love my crock pot. I recently, within the past couple years, I upgraded my crock pot and I absolutely love the thing. And I've got on my Pinterest feed like so many good crock pot recipes. Like that's kind of my go-to place where I'm like, okay, I need something easy. I mean, yesterday afternoon I was here, nobody was here helping me. All three kids are up. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to throw together that crock pot meal. And I was able to do it really, really quick. Going back to this maroon, just to help out the wing, kind of make everything make sense down here. But it was like a taco hash brown casserole, basically. Nothing fancy, but hearty and good. Crumble little Fritos on that when you're done. Little sour cream, little salsa too. It was my first time making it yesterday, so I just went by the basic recipe that was given, but I would have also put in some frozen corn in there. That would have been great. Maybe some black olives. Heck, maybe some black beans would have been good if you wanted to bulk it up in some other ways. But anyway, like, I love the Instant Pot too, but some of my Instant Pot recipes aren't always so like dump and go. Like, they've involved some dealing, you know, with it, and a lot of my favorite crock pot things are just, you know, put it in there and then let it go. Don't touch it again until it's about done. I don't have a lot of mascaras right now that are just like sitting unused. Like everything's pretty much been in the rotation, except I haven't used this roller lash a lot. That was back from the what are the best products you found out about through YouTube and who told you about them, and somebody credited Manny MUA with telling them about this one. That was a fun video. I enjoyed that. So I'm just curling my lashes and get this going. I do my best mascara when I've got a mirror basically right up under my nose. Then you can really see the application happening on the whole lash. This mascara is getting a little more dramatic with time. I like that. It's one of those things that gets sweeter with time. Anytime we can integrate the lyrics of Dust on the Bottle to a makeup look, I'm gonna do it. Oh, so I get some questions sometimes if you watch my Instagram stories about the girls' princess dresses. The best ones that they have, the ones that are like the ones you want to go for if you're thinking princess dresses, are not really the costumey ones. We have a few of those. They wear them from time to time. We call them the scratchy dresses. Like they don't hold up to washings quite as well. I mean, they survive the washings, but they just like don't really look nice afterwards, and any glitter they had on them comes off. They're just like cheap costumey dresses. The best ones to get are the ones, if you look them up on Amazon, they're called Disney Fantasy Nightgowns, girls' Disney Fantasy Nightgowns. And they look like princess dresses, you know. It's all the princess dress satisfaction they're after, but they're soft and they hold up incredibly well. I mean, I've washed these things I don't know how many times, and we've got a lot of those, and I've gotten some good deals on them. I sometimes can get them through Target's website or Amazon. Those have been probably my main two sources for these. And you know, we got Elsa and Anna, Ariel, Belle. We're trying to get our hands on a good Tiana dress, but no, it's not me like choosing to put them in those dresses. They pick, you know, this is all them. And part of me kind of feels like why not? Life is short. Wear the princess dress. I mean, and they take their walks, and I feel like they're brightening people's lives. Like, people really enjoy seeing them walking around in these dresses, and they love wearing them, so why the heck not? Camera kind of cut out on me for a second there, but I did a couple things on the lower lash line. I used my ABH Duo highlighting pencil, the matte end in the waterline just for brightness, and I did put a little bit of my Hourglass Extensions mascara on the lower lashes because that's good about not smudging. And then I pulled out a lip liner, which I don't use lip liners as much as I should, but this is the L'Oreal Color Riche Matte, and I remember loving this one so much in the shade called Mastermind, and the end of it looks so mangled, so I gave it a fresh sharpen, and we're gonna pop this on. These are so creamy and nice. And then I've got a gloss that I think is gonna play great with the tones on the eyes today. See, look how nicely that fills in. I'm applying hardly any pressure at all. I also blended my little orangey shade just out a little bit further to kind of meet my liner that was winged. Okay, so there's that all filled in, kind of a nice little neutral base color. And then I'm going to use this shade from Milani. Does this not look like it could be perfect? It's the rosy bronze shade from the Keep It Full line. I know I love this tone to begin with. I think that little bit of bronzy shimmer is going to look so nice with the eye. Not the most practical for your mask wearing moments. You might just want to stick to the lip liner for that, but that is so pretty. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Need more blush. I kind of wanted to pop on some lashes, but I kind of don't want to fuss with it right now. So I think I'm going to just stick with the look as is. But yeah, some more blush. That warm soul. How delightful is that? Somebody's creeping out of their room over there. Now I'm going to take out the rollers and we'll just see how the whole thing looks. Alright, I'm feeling it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I love a little shop my stash moment, and I hope you do too. Again, if you've got a video idea, leave it for me in the comments section, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.